Prophet Marcello Kearns back at it. Okay, so this message is going to be about gang stalking, young people being used to gang stalk. Young people being used to gang stalk. Why this need to be understood is because so you can understand the mentality. These young people are the ones that's gang stalking. When I say young, I'm talking about 20, I'm talking about teenagers, I'm talking about 30 somethings, I'm talking about 40 somethings, even 50s, right? That it's those people that's leading the pack with this mentality to gang stalk out here. And it took me a lot of time to figure this out. It took me a long time to figure out the age bracket of the mentality of the people that's out here. It's young people, culture people. And if you are from the black community, you understand like the ratchet culture, sipping tea culture, drama culture, gossip culture. You know what I'm saying? That's what's driving this. These drunk people, drunk on tequila. You know what I'm saying? Drunk on tequila and Hennessy. You know, they them walking around drunk and fighting each other. It's that type of mentality and energy that's driving these gang stalkers. These arrogant young people that's in their 20s that's drunk on tequila and Patron. They the ones it's their mentality and energy that's driving this whole gang stalking situation. So while you act like it was the baby boomers, yeah, the baby boomers are involved. These veteran military, let's talk about it. All these veteran military gang stalking us. All these veteran police gang stalking us in these unmarked cars like we stupid. And you could tell because of the timing of the cars, how the cars drive by you on perfect timing in unison with what you're doing. Oh, that's military timing. See, many of you, listen, you're not paying attention to things that a soldier pays attention to. You are being gang stalked in military timing. An average person can't gang stalk you like that precise with military timing. That's veteran military. That's veteran police. That ain't just, oh well, that's just psychological people and witchcraft people. Nah, they ain't no witchcraft person only. It's not limited to that. That is a person that understands perfect time and synchronicity and everything. They gang stalking you in perfect time, and that means obviously veteran military is involved in gang stalking you. Come to terms with it. Because when we say we soldiers, who they gonna go get? Who are they going to go get? They're going to go get veteran military. They're gonna go get even active soldiers if they can. If they're lucky, they're gonna go get police and veteran police. And we know they're using the Freemason police already. We know that. It's young people that God is going to defeat for gang stalking us. Because I'm going to tell you one thing about a young person. I'm going to tell you the biggest problem with a young person is you think you're infallible, unconquerable. And we all was like that when we was in our 20s, right? When we was in our teenage years. Many of you think you're you're infallible, like you can't fall. Oh, you can fall. You can fall right in your 20s. You can fall right as a teenager. And if you've been gang stalking, I'm sorry to tell you, it don't matter how young you are. If you in your 20s and you're young, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna be defeated for being out here spreading around all around gang stalking God's people. And I know for sure that your age makes you feel like you're inconquerable, like you're infallible, like you can't die. Like we gonna give you a pass. America gave you a pass. See, what I want you to realize as a targeted individual, if you're a targeted individual watching this, I want you to realize that America gave these young gang stalkers a pass to gang stalk you. Oh, they let them do it. Oh, they just said they was young. So what? They're grown men. They grown women, right? I don't care how young they are. They're over 18. Most of them, ain't it? Listen, that's all we talking about, man. That's all we talking about. I became a man at 18. I left my mom's house when I was 18. Did I fall back on hard times like now? Yes. But once you wean yourself from your mother at 18, you're a whole different animal. Now some of these people don't leave home until they're in their 30s. Now some people don't leave home until they're in their 40s. Ridiculous, right? Listen, man, let me tell you something. These young people that's out here gang stalking, whoever made you feel like just because you're young, you can do this, and because they gave you a pass, right? And you didn't feel like you would be accountable as a grown man or woman. You're going to be accountable. I don't care if you're 18 on the dot. I don't care if you're 19 on the dot. So what? Even if you're 16, even if you're 17, 15, you start getting out to 14, listen, hey, even all teenage years, 13, 14, you out here gang stalking, listen, man, you're going to be held accountable. See, America, I want y'all to know, I'm going to say this in plain sight and plain English. America gave them a pass. These young people, look at it what it is. You see the circus, you see the clownery, the buffoonery, the hocus pocus, the bamboozling. Well, who you think allowed them to do it? America. What's one of the main reasons they allowed them to do it? Because they're young. Because they're young. And then everybody older than them came behind those young people. You see what I'm saying? And the credibility or the validation was given to the young people, not the old people. The validation was given to the old people based off of their seniority in the community. Whether they was veteran military, veteran police, that's how they kind of came in and was not really, held accountable. Oh, off the strength of their military, off the strength of their police, they wasn't held accountable. And the young people is not held accountable based on them being young. So we just calling it out. We already know police ain't being held accountable for gang stalking. Firemen or I seen fire trucks gang stalk. I done seen it all. I done seen doctors, nurses, people in the hospital gang stalk. I done seen fire departments gang stalk. Oh yeah. I done been all around the country. I done lived in California, New York, Florida, North Carolina. So I done seen fire departments gang stalk. I don't think nobody is innocent anymore in America. They all gang stalking. And they get away. Listen to this. They get away with what they doing by their vocation. If they doctors, fire department people, firemen, firefighters, man, they look at us like scum, like we nothing. You ain't got a job. You ain't, you're barely hanging on to a job. Can you imagine how they look at you? When they busy doing what they doing, they've been busy doing what they doing for what, 15, 20 years, going to college for it, and then coming out and getting a vocation, and you ain't doing nothing. They look at you like you ain't nothing. But God don't see you like that. And that's the fatal mistake they made. When a person is busy, and they don't see you doing nothing, they gon' think the worst of you and the less of you. And that's what America did with many of you. They just thought the less of you, being what all they was doing in their personal life and how long they've been doing it, right, for X amount of time. They just looked at you like you was doing, you doing nothing and you ain't nothing. But they shouldn't have played with you. If you were so much of nothing, then why they play with you then? They shouldn't even entertain the thought of somebody like you. If you were so nothing, if you was just such a piece of nothing, then why they entertain thoughts about you? Because in this situation with gang stalking, they get off on playing with human beings. It's the funnest game to wicked, evil people and Americans. I get a chance to play around a human being, and nobody ain't gonna do nothing about it. Nobody's good. So can't you see, with that being said, can't you see how that'll attract young people, young Americans? I can play with these people and nothing happens. I can ride around and act tough and act like a savage and do all these things and play with this person and affect their life in different various ways, and nothing is done about it. What I want you to see, what I want you to understand as a prophet. See, once a prophet got into this, man, listen, I'm all in, man. I'm all in. Once a prophet got involved with this war with gang stalking, man, I'm all in. I'm going to break it down, pass it all around. I'm going to talk about this stuff. God going to give me spiritual utterance. He going to give me prophetic utterance to talk about this. Pay attention, because like I said, spiritual people going to be able to talk about these gang stalkers way better. Way better. And you got to see me through a different perspective and eyesight. You got to see me through different lenses. I'm not no average everyday, and I'm not downgrading anybody that's giving us information on this gang stalking. I appreciate everyone that comes through here that's not a Christian that gives information about this gang stalking. But a spiritual person, man, obviously is going to have more insight from God and strategies. That's why you got to listen to me from a whole different ear. You got to. Wisdom is to do that. Wisdom is to do that. These young people are not going to be held back because you finding some fun, innovative game. See, in the gamers world, you should have knew this was going to happen. In the gamers world, they went to Call of Duty, the virtual reality, those kind of games, all these shoot 'em up games, these real life, realistic games. But once people mastered that, and I think they kind of mastered the whole idea of it, no matter how much consoles come out, no matter how many new consoles come out, they with young people, they've kind of mastered the concept of these innovative, realistic games. So they decided to take the next step, which is to have an innovative real game in real life, but according to a gamer. It's a real life game, but according to a gamer. That's how you need to hear it. Here in America, gang stalking is a real life game according to a gamer. And they get off on every little step like a video game. In a video game, you got 1,000,000 steps to win the game. To beat each board. We used to call them boards back in the day. To beat each board, you got to do different stuff. You got to do all this different stuff in all these different situations, in different places, and up and down stairs and around and around. And they enjoy getting off on this whole. I'm telling you how young people think, especially if they grew up from my age and younger. If they my age and younger, I'm telling you, if you're dealing with any gang stalkers in America, and they think like me, they're my age and younger, they got to be influenced by video games. It's no way in the world you're going to tell me something like this is going on in our community, and they're not incorporating a gamer's mentality. Of course they are. Of course they are. And they're going to suffer. They shouldn't have played. Listen, you got a pass from America, but you did not get a pass from God and his kingdom. You're going to be so surprised as Americans to see all these young people suffer for what they've done. Listen, I'm not obsessed with no young people. I don't care. I don't care if they're young. So what? I'm not obsessed with them. Some people are obsessed with young people. Oh, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what they're doing right now. I wonder what they're doing right now. I wonder what they're doing right now. I don't care what they're doing right now. I don't care what they're doing right now. Listen, I don't give thought to what they're doing. You can tell by my videos, I don't care about what young people are doing. In their 30s and 20s and teenagers, I don't care what they're doing. I do not. See, God, listen, God knew who he needed to choose to get this done. Because many of you, listen, you just melt when it comes to children. You just melt when it comes to teenagers. You just melt when it comes to 20 somethings and 30 somethings. You just melt. I don't melt. I stay together. And you know how I stay together? I gather myself for war. That's how I stay together. You just melt for children. And listen, this is why you're not profitable in this spiritual war. You see what I just said right there? Many of you Americans are not profitable. You think you can come over here and because you got good morals and all that kind of little stuff like that. You know, you think you can come over here and kind of blend in and get in when you fit in, but you don't fit in here because you just melt for children, which means you could be easily manipulated by children or young people. They could easily manipulate you. No differently than a soldier on the battlefield that sees a little cute kid and the kid has an AK-47. The kid got a Draco, right? Oh, that's just a cute little kid. Look at him. A soldier gonna be on point. I'm watching that kid. And if he pulls out a gun, he has to die. I'm sorry to tell you. If you serve for any military in the world, if a child pulls a weapon on your militia, if you will, on your military squad, your commander is going to wonder why, even though it was a child, why didn't you kill that child? That's what you're going to be questioned for in the operation. They're going to question you on that. I guarantee you they would. Let's just say in this scenario that you encountered this child, right? You encountered this child, and this child pulled out an AK-47. Let's say he killed 7 out of 18 of your people. Your commander, your superiors, if you was in the military, your superiors is going to wonder why you did not neutralize the target. Your superiors is going to ask you. They smart. They could say, without asking you, oh, that was a child, that's why he didn't do it. They ain't going to care. I guarantee you no military in the world is going to care when there's an objective. Besides the people that got killed, they're going to also look at the objective wasn't accomplished. Not just these people got killed that was in our military, but the objective was not accomplished. And why wasn't it accomplished? For a child, unfortunately, see, this is when you go to a higher level of maturity in war and understanding humanity and community, because there's a lot of goofy people when it comes to children, and I'm not one of them. Your superior is going to wonder, why didn't you kill that child? I know it's a child. I listen, before you even open your mouth, I already know it was a child. I'm well aware of that, as you know. So please don't state the obvious to me. Tell me besides that, why didn't you kill that child? Why didn't, in all your training and how you're trained, why didn't you neutralize that target when you seen that child had a gun? And this is our foundational stance for, our spiritual war with the Americans. If you utilize children against us, you leave us no choice. No differently than someone on the battlefield that is forced to neutralize the target in the case of a child. And if you're a goofy person, you're a simp, you're going to think that, this person has it out for children. I mean, that's the most simplistic way of thinking. You utilize children. Here's the punchline. You utilize children in gang stalking. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You utilized children in gang stalking, and now it's the end. Okay, and you thought it was gonna be some fun little game, some little game, and it's not. And we don't care what they do. Oh, they like to eat pizza on a Saturday. So what? I don't care what kids do and teenagers do. Some of you are borderline obsessed with the youth of children, of youth of young people. Yes, you are. And listen, I'm not one of them. You're interested in what they do, what they like to eat, what they like to do. I don't care. I don't care what they like to do. I'm just being real. I'm not a hateful person. I'm just being 100 as a grown man. I do not care at this point, especially with all the gang stalking that they've been doing. And I know young people been doing it. I do not care what they do. I even seen children being used in gang stalking. And that's the punchline. That's another one. Oh, they ain't been using children against you yet? Oh, they do. That's what they do. They use children against us. If you see excessive children in public places, at grocery stores, at phone places, at all these stores and department stores, and it just your intuition, listen to me closely, your intuition is telling you it's not normal. Even though you're a good person and you're not hateful towards children per se, but something telling you that's not normal. All those children lined up like this, and all this stuff, these weird scenarios with children. These weird scenarios with children is not normal. And so I'm gonna tell you what happens when you first get gang stalked in the beginning. In the beginning, I was just like you. In the beginning, you just think, oh, those children. You might smile, might say something to the children. You might interact with them. You might even interact with the gang stalking adults that got them there. You might walk away thinking, I just interacted with children in a pleasant way. Wait for it. Wait for it. I give you 3 more years. You're gonna be a whole different animal. It's not that they changed you. You adjusted to it. They didn't change you. You adjusted. You adjusted to them using children as gang stalking tools. And some people might not think it's an adjustment. Oh, there is an adjustment. Oh yeah. The adjustment is that any weapon on the battlefield will be neutralized, including children. If you use weapons as children, this is a military mindset. If you use children as weapons, they will be neutralized as targets. By spiritual means, by God's power. And see, this is another part of the shifting that I was talking about. Now God's people is shifted on a whole different lane because of a young mentality that you might not be familiar with as an older person. But young people understand it perfectly. Ratchet, wild, all out here gang stalking, using children. A young person understand it perfectly. I understand the whole mentality all the way. You ain't even got to tell me. Because I know how American people think. I know how the young Americans think. And they're going to think well, we're going to do what we want to do. We're going to be savages. We're going to be savages. We're going to tear this person apart. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that. And that we're going to use children. We're going to do everything. And that's when they begin to use children. Once they use children, my mentality adjusted to the situation. I seen them use children walking past me saying, oh yeah, he a pedophile. All right, listen, bro. God is my witness on that. I'm no liar. I promise you I wasn't sitting here and lie for no reason. I seen a child in Queens in Astoria Boulevard. Yeah. Right down there around 94th and 95th down there. And the child walked past me at nighttime saying, oh yeah, he might be a pedophile, something like that. They did it on purpose to gaslight, to make you feel self-conscious, to make you feel like you are and you know you're not. That's the purpose. What was the other purpose? I know what I've done in reality and what I haven't done. Okay, so what is the goal? Is to make me feel this way. Many of you have not paid attention. They've been using children like it's a game. Once again, this is younger children than what I've been talking about, the teenagers and the 20 something. Now this is younger. They've been using the younger children, whiz kid type of gamers. They put them in the store and let them run around like it's a video game. These are kids that already probably play Xbox, PS5. They've been playing, PlayStations from probably PlayStation 2. Most of these kids that's been gang stalking you been playing PlayStation. I'm talking about the young ones, under 18. I'm talking about more like 12 and under. Them kids been playing PlayStation 3. That's safe to say, right? About that. About PlayStation 2 or 3, that's where they started out. So their mind is way more innovative than you realize. That's why you got to catch up. And you got to base it on these games. When you realize these video games, and you take a look at these video games, if you even Google video games, all the innovative games, PS5 and Nintendo Switch 2, start looking at these games. This is how these people think. They think like them games they playing. They think like these consoles they got. And they using their children out there in these gang stalking operations like it's a video game. That's how they know how to do it. Because they look at the world through the eyes of a game. You're the target. They know who you are. When the kid sees and know. So they play a position like it's a video game, bouncing around, running around and everything to try to trigger you and trigger your mind. That sums it up. Hoping that you have some type of pedophile thought. That's the purpose. To try to concrete this perspective that you're a pedophile. Man, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Are you doing something in reality? It's ridiculous. There is no compassion given. Once they start using children, I want you to understand, in God's economy, I like to say, in God's economy, everything has changed concerning the perspective of children and what's going to happen. Okay? So if you're one of those goofy people that melt for children in America, I hate to tell you, in all your meltery, if you will, in all your melting, right? You're going to be so sadly disappointed that God does not protect and help your children. You used them in gang stalking. Yes, you did. We know you did. I put all my credibility on that. You could snatch my title as a prophet or you could snatch everything I am as a spiritual person, as a prophet or whatever. You could just take my whole credibility. I know for sure, that you used children in gang stalking. Yes, you did. And listen, it's repercussions for that. The repercussions is ain't nothing the same towards your children coming from the kingdom of God. From God to his kingdom, to his angels, to his servants. Ain't nothing the same here in America towards those children. That's the best way to say it in wisdom. Just like that. Without giving true pinpoint, descriptions for every situation. Everything has changed towards those children because of gang stalking. So you thought you got away with it. You didn't. You didn't get away with it. You used all these Americans, man. Listen, they used all these children, and some of y'all that's being gang stalked. Listen, listen. I found a handful of people that will say it like it need to be said, and I salute those people, man. And matter of fact, I might give out. I don't know if I give out their YouTube page because I don't support everything they do, but man, it's a handful of people that say it like it need to be said. They're using children in gang stalking. You can go Google search that for yourself. I just leave it at that. You could choose to listen to what you want to listen to in your own discretion. But I found people that can't make this up, man. They're using children in gang stalking. That's the next step for you to understand. You know what I'm saying? And they're using young people. They're using children under 12. They're using teenagers. They're using 20-somethings and 30-somethings. And the more high you go up, they're gathering these teenagers and 20-somethings and 30-somethings all around your city to run around you and do stuff around you, ride around. Most of the people riding around is these young people. It took me a long time to figure that, because most of us that's American gonna think it's these baby boomer military type of police people, these older people that's like my age, maybe like 40 something and older, right? Nah. I start to realize the culture is all in this, and if the culture of America is all in this, it's these young teenager, 20 something, 30 something, that's all in the culture. And if you're smart, if you pay attention to the mentality of the culture, that's all in the gang stalking, which means these young people, they all in it, man. They driving the mentality. That's what I'm trying to show you. They driving the mentality. Okay? So there are going to be repercussions against them. They're going to be defeated by God, and it's just what it is, man. So for God's true people, salute. Over and out.